What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Social Media Mindset. And many of you know, a few weeks ago, I was in Los Angeles at an event called Social Con, where we got to hear from unbelievable men and women from in the industry, outside the industry, Americans and Canadians, because I've got a man that he doesn't even live in our country, but he is doing content better than most Americans that I know. And he's killing it on the real estate front. He's been doing it less than 2 years. He's unbelievable. He's covered in tattoos, which are super cool. He wears a hat every day, which we'll dig into for branding. Tyler Hassman, bro, welcome to the show.
Coach Kyle, my man, thank you so much for the intro. What's up, everyone? I'm super excited to be here, especially to share my story. And thank you for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro, because you have such a wild story. You had all these plans, all these aspirations. You were, and other people were sinking money into what you thought was going to be like the future of your life. And then COVID was like, nope, hold on. I'm going to take all of it. And so I just want you to tell, like, just lay your story out here for people because there's so much inspiration in it. There's so much power to be received from it. And so I'm going to shut up now and just let you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we're starting off with this, so I first started out in real estate when I was 18, just out of high school. And I was actually a car salesman. And then I went to real estate networking events just because like Rich Dad Poor Dad, like Robert Kiyosaki, like the best way to build wealth is real estate. And I always tried little gimmicks and stuff, saw stuff on Instagram, but I'm like, real estate's like the real business, right? So I started going to networking events and then learned about joint ventures. There was investors that, I found with my business partner that were so busy but had the money. And meanwhile, we had the energy. So we went and found deals, sourced deals, partners, and started buying apartment buildings and then also doing property management. So that was my beginning at that. And, we did videos to raise money all the time. It was really cool. And then that transitioned slowly into wanting to do more passionate real estate stuff, which was vacation rentals. So in Arizona, from Canada, right? But went down to Arizona, got some vacation rentals down there, Airbnbs. We did management, also the leasing strategy that's super popular now, but at the time, 5 years ago, wasn't that popular at the time. But we did that. And then also then went down to Costa Rica. It was always a huge goal of mine and my girlfriend and business partner, Jade. We always had this thing of like living in Costa Rica, having a hotel, having properties down there. Like that's it. So at 23, 24, we're down there, find a hotel. We raise some money from investors. Everyone's getting excited. We have videos on it. It's amazing. We get this hotel and we're doing a 3-year like lease option. So basically leasing it for 3 years. At the end of it, we have the option to purchase it. The lease payments go towards purchase price, all that. Because then it kind of gives us that risk scenario. Yeah. We can always back out if it doesn't work. So, we raise the money. We start doing some like cosmetic renovations, right? Because like we went in and rebranded this hotel. So we like did a bunch of systems, rebranded it, painted, updated things, and we made it a co-work, co-live digital nomad hotspot. And it was like a dream come true. It was like everything's of course there was some like major issues, but like everything happened. Like we had the hotel, we had Airbnbs down there. It's like things are thriving. And then all of a sudden we had it for 3 months and then March came around and then we planned our release party to be March 17th because, 3 months of like renos and making it look nice and all that. And then March 16th, the government's like, hey, we're shutting down. There's this COVID thing. So we're like, okay, we'll wait out another month. We wait out a month. Then we had to come back to Canada because like health insurance and the state of emergency, all that stuff.
Wow.
So we came back to Canada being like, well, we'll come back down in maybe a month, right? And then so we're burning money because the payments didn't stop on the hotel. And we originally had like almost like 700, like crazy hundreds of thousands of dollars in booking generated for that year, like insane amount of money. All of that went to practically zero within a matter of a week because all the Airbnbs, the booking groups, like our tourism stuff, everything that was pre-booked, like probably 50 to 60% of the year is pre-booked already. All of it's gone and there's zero money, but the payments didn't stop. So we're drowning ourselves. The reserve fund, we have money and they were paying it, maxing out cars, maxing out everything. And then 3 or 4 months went by and there's still no end to COVID. I mean, we were all there, not wondering or not knowing when is this going to end? When does it get better? And it just never really did. And then it got to the point we talked to the owners with the lawyers down there. We're like, we can't do this anymore. Like, what are we supposed to do? We can't accept bookings from anybody. And we ran out of money to pay this thing. And we had to, just stop it. We gave it all up, gave it back to the owners. They got some renovations, all these upgrades, and we lost all that money and some trying to hold on to it. So here we are at 24 years old, back in Canada. And we're like, what the hell? Like we, at one moment, have this thriving thing everything going on, everything's great. The next moment, hundreds of thousands in debt, no hotel, and we're back in Canada where we started. We're like, what just happened? And it was a really tough point because it's like crazy how quick that happened. And it was a good thing we have mentors, because one of our mentors, Graham, like, he's been through a lot and he sees it from this other perspective where he's like, you guys, like, we didn't even want to wake up and do anything. We were just depressed and so much anxiety of like, how are we going to pay this back? What are we going to do? Like, that was our identity, our life. And he was like, you guys need to get back up because your wealth is inside of you. It's not outside of you. You guys are able to get back out and create, do it again, try something new. It's all part of your damn journey. And one day you'll look back and be like, I'm glad this happened. But at the time you're like, what do you mean glad this happened? This is awful. So fast forward now, was doing some consulting, helping other real estate investors do some stuff. And then we started up another vacation rental management company, probably 6 or 7 months after that in Calgary, Canada. And then long story short with that, same thing, built it up. Things were great. And then we just ended up separating with our partners. Some stuff was going on. We were like not passionate about it. And a couple other management companies ended up taking over a lot of those contracts. So here we are at, a year and a half after COVID of losing the hotel and all that, starting something up to only realize we don't want to do that. And there was some complications. So now we're back at ground zero again at like, now it's 25 years old, right? So a lot of it's happening quick. And at that point, it was like no money, having to owe these, investors and do all these other things. And also, again, starting from scratch. And at that point, I'm like, I'm always been good at marketing, closing deals and all that. I'm going to get my real estate license. And I got my real estate license. And right away, as I'm doing it, I have a lot of experience with like marketing videos, and I love learning and deep diving into things. And I kept on finding that with the real estate industry, like social media obviously is number one. But the number one thing at that time, September 2021, I think it was, 21, everyone was talking about Facebook ads and Instagram ads. That was the thing for real estate agents, and then YouTube. So the big thing is though, is that I didn't have any money. So I couldn't do the Facebook ads. So I'm like, and this is while I'm studying to get my license. So I don't have my license yet. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I don't have the money to do that. So that's not going to work. And then the other things would be cold calling and door knocking. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I was in car sales. I've done that before. I haven't came this far to do that. Right. And then I started like just be on Instagram watching people do home tour videos. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, it's quick videos. They show the inside of homes. I love that. And I'm like, I feel like that would be a good way to generate leads. And then I seen some agents do it in LA and Miami, like all those big homes. And I'm like, I think that would work. And I was like, at this point, getting my license, and I'm like barely paying the fees. Like, nobody tells you about how much it costs to be an agent. My God, it's like this fee, and there's this random licensing thing. I had to max myself out. I had to actually I got the license, and then I got my invoice from our local real estate board, and I didn't have the money to pay it. So I literally had to put them on, I don't know why the card's not working. And then and thankfully it was then a long weekend after that, September long weekend. So then I had an extra day, and I just scrambled and finally got it together. But anyway, so I had my license, and I'm like, hey, I don't have any money. And I didn't join a team. It's just me on my own in this new market. So not really any connections. And I was like, well, I got my phone and I've made videos before, so I'm just gonna go at it. So I started doing YouTube videos and then TikTok, like Instagram videos with my phone. And the first property I ever went to, I was riding my bike. I got a Facebook marketplace, like $50. I didn't have a car at this point either, like right from scratch.
Wow.
Rode my bike to the train, took the train all the way to the northeast, far Calgary, and then had to bike an extra 15, 20 minutes to this show home where I contacted them. I was like, hey, can I do some videos? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. I had no idea what I'm doing, right? Nobody else was doing this in my market. So I'm like, I don't even know if this is going to work, right? But I thought it was cool and it was fun. And I just saw something with it. And while I'm biking, it starts raining. So it's pouring rain. I'm soaking wet. And I was like, are you kidding me? I came all this way, and that was it's almost like in the movies, when it gets bad and it gets worse,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like, oh my God, that's how it felt, because once it started raining and I was wet, and I'm riding this damn bike, and I'm
gosh,
what am I doing, first off? But second off, I'm like, man, I had all these other things going on, and now this is happening, and what if this doesn't work, and all these other things, so what if I can't get any deals? What if this doesn't actually work out? What if we weren't meant for this? What if we just need to go get normal jobs and get ourselves out of this situation?
Yeah.
And I don't know what really got me going out of it, but as I was having those what if negative thoughts, I also then had the what ifs of what if this does work out? What if I do make these videos and it works? I get a lead. What if I'm able to close deals from this? What if a year from now, I'm going to be telling this damn story, how amazing, how crappy it was riding this bike, but now it's the best thing ever. So I also then thought about the positive what if, and I just kept on going. And as I'm pulling up to the show home, I also made a promise to myself that I would do videos for 60 days. Okay. Wow. So I would try it every day, post a video for 60 days. And if it doesn't work out after 60 days, I'm going to go to a different career. It wasn't a different strategy in real estate. I was done. I'm like, I'm not being an agent. Right. And I, my background, I could go do something. Right.
Sure.
I've got options. Right. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm going to quit. So I told myself though, I don't care that I'm wet or whatever. I'm going to go in and film it. I promised myself 60 days. I'm going to stick to it. So I get to the show home, I parked my bike behind because I didn't want the lady to see I rode a bike in the pouring rain. And as I walk in, I was just going to say like, oh, I parked down the street and I got caught in the rain. And then meanwhile, she's like, oh, I actually saw you like ride by on the bike. That's crazy. I'm like, no. So then I made up an excuse because I was so embarrassed that like, I don't know, I just like bike around the neighborhood to get to know the neighborhood, which is stupid. But anyway, so I go in, I carelessly made the video because I'm soaking wet. I'm leaving footprints throughout the whole entire place. And I just went with my phone, went through, I wasn't even in the video, and then biked back. And while I'm biking back to the train, I'm like, what am I doing? On the train, I just had that thing of 60 days. So I took out my phone, even though I was not in a good mood, and just edited and then posted the video to TikTok. And then later, when I got home, edited the long form video and posted it to YouTube. Well, then sure enough, within a couple weeks of doing this, biking to these show homes, no more rain, better weather, but still biking to these show homes, I kept on making these videos, the TikTok walkthroughs, and then the YouTube. And then after 2 weeks, I noticed that my YouTube videos got like 50 views max per video and didn't see much traction. And they took a lot more time to shoot and edit. Where my TikTok videos I was putting no effort into, those videos were getting some of them 10,000. 20,000, getting all these followers. And then I immediately went all in on TikTok and like short form videos, Instagram as well. Once I think it was maybe like 3 weeks into it, when I started getting my first leads from TikTok and people were resharing these videos and it was really gaining traction. So I said, hey, I'm going to go all in on that because at the time I'm spending making these YouTube videos and not seeing much results because I needed money right away. Right. So I'm like, I'm going to go all in on one thing, right? Which is the short form content. I'm going to perfect that. And then maybe later I'll go back to YouTube and add it. So then I went all in on it. And then sure enough, like a month and a half in, I get a call. I was dealing with some leads, nothing really happening, but I was posting every day. And then I get a call from these clients. They're from out of province, brother and sister. They wanted to buy a place side by side. Boom, $450,000 home each. So that's about 800 and some thousand. Cleared about almost like $15,000 in commissions. And I was like, oh my God, I made it. Wow. I was like, I did it. I felt so good. And obviously that's the fast forwarded story. It took like 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks long, all real estate deals. So pretty quick though. But anyway, so then I just kept making videos every day. And then what I realized was that after that, there was 2 deals, and there was 4 a month, then 6, then 10, then 12. And then by like month, I started September, by like, March, I was already at like 20, almost 25, maybe 30 deals, right? Wow. It was insane. Yes, it was a hot market, but being someone brand new and not on an established team and on my own, people were able to find me. And so then that fast forward a year, did 60 deals, $26 million. And I didn't spend a single dollar, not a single, only money was on gas. I eventually got a vehicle on gas. And like, I did upgrade my phone after a while. But other than that, no money on ads. And it was only from doing home tour videos on TikTok and Instagram. Wow. And once I passed that 60-day mark, I read in The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, there's the cycle of the sales. And you always want to make sure you're focusing on prospecting, closing deals and all that. Because if you go from one to another, once you're done the deal, you're going to be back to prospecting because you don't have anybody to deal with. So I was like, I'm going to make sure that 60 days is now 365 days, a full year. So I want a full year posting videos. I would reschedule viewings, reschedule inspections. I put all my attention every day, even though I was getting views and getting leads like crazy, on making videos and posting every day. So there would be times I would have all these leads in my inbox, but I would be like, I'll get back to you later. I need to go make my video today. And that's why then it just rippled, that compound effect as well. And then it grew into boom. Then it got into having 7 agents on my team, like under me, closing tons of deals and just blowing up and even today, I still now don't post like my goal is to post every day, but now with traveling, like we talked about, I've been in all over the place. It's a little bit harder, but I still managed to post every day. Maybe the odd day I'll miss. Like yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I was traveling, so missed a couple of days. But yesterday, I posted 2 videos. So I find myself catching up. But essentially, that's kind of the story of where I'm at now.
I have so many questions that I want to jump into, but I want to tell a quick story real fast because something happened to me today that tells the other side of being consistent on video, because it works, right? I've never met anyone that was like, yeah, I was super consistent with video and it didn't work. Yeah. I've never met that person. I've met people like you that for whatever reason, like you hit it at the right time, you have the right skill set with the right work ethic, and boom, like you take off. And then the other side is me. I've been doing consistent video content for 9 years and I've never stopped. I've remained steadfast and I've had some successes, and then it'd be slow and success and then slow. And then I released my book 2 weeks ago, which couldn't have been written had I not been consistent with content. And then my mentor today reached out to a big publicist company and talked to them about my book, mailing them a copy of my book. And they were like, man, like Kyle sounds awesome. We need to probably like walk him through our branding process. And they looked me up online and were like, oh, he doesn't need our help with that. He's ready to go. So I'm going to be flying to Atlanta soon to start talking to these people. And it's going to open up so many doors for me. And Tyler, everybody's going to go, bro, how'd you do it? And they don't want to hear the story of, well, I started doing video when nobody cared and when I sucked and it wasn't any good, right? And everybody gets typically where they want to go when they get consistent online like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that. And that's the thing, is like the consistency is what it is, because at the end of the day, if I would have stopped after month 1 and took it easy and started posting 3 times a week and then 2 times a week and slowed down, wouldn't have happened. There's a lot of agents that when I first started, even in my market, that I like younger as well, that I just like network with and stuff, like we're at the same brokerage. And they were like, oh yeah, we're going to do it too. They would do videos for 2 weeks, get a couple leads maybe or whatever. And they would stop, and they keep stopping and starting. They maybe have a few thousand followers. Or across my platforms, I have over hundreds of thousands, right? And another thing too is I was able to now close almost 100 deals in a year and a half, and they haven't even been able to do 30, but it's because they never stayed consistent. And still to this day, like, oh man, you got lucky, or you did this. It's like, no, because I didn't stop. You're stopping. So many people, they start, then they stop, and they start, and they're constantly going up and down, never actually gaining that traction. And that's the thing, with a lot of people. And I even tell them, I'm like, when I first started, because I made a committed decision to go 60 days all in on it, that's why it worked, because it pushed me past those times of riding on my freaking bike to go do a home tour. So a lot of you that are like frustrated with it, I think I went 2 weeks, never getting it much views, not getting any leads. I think it took about 4 to 5 weeks to actually get a lead that wasn't even good. Then that brother and sister hit me up maybe a month and a half in, like I said. But think of it, I was riding a bike with no money, brand new, hundreds of thousands in debt to pay back, and like figuring out how to pay rent. Meanwhile, I'm on my bike, not getting any views, but I kept on going. So when they see me now going and talk about this on stages or filming $15 million homes in Bel Air and like doing these crazy things, like, oh, well, you just did videos and it happened. It's like, no, it did not happen that way. It's because I didn't stop.
I want to dig into 2 things specifically, because one of the things that I think, and I don't know if you did this on purpose, you probably did because you're super smart.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you did, because you focused on tours, you were reaching out to people that you didn't necessarily know to just ask if you can tour their home.
Yes.
So you're leading with value.
Yes.
Right? I just want to come and shoot a cool video of your property.
Yep.
Everyone says yes to that. That's what I've done with my podcast. When I say, bro, will you come on my podcast? That's value, right? I'm saying, dude, you're incredible. I want to highlight your skill set to my people.
Totally.
But if I were calling people going, hey, I have this company and I'd love for you to be a client of mine, boop, click, like you're out. So I think realtors need to hear this, that you have to come from contribution with people.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And then now, did you do that on purpose? Or was that just a byproduct of like, oh, wow, man, this is crazy. Nobody's saying no.
On purpose, because I read a book called The Go-Giver. And essentially it says, yes, the more you give, the more you get, right? The wealthiest people in the world is because they give the most value to people. That's why Jeff Bezos, it always fluctuates who's richest, but Jeff Bezos with Amazon, it's because he gives the most value. Who doesn't use Amazon? It's valuable to them. It's convenient. So whenever I'm messaging, even when I first started, I was messaging builders, agents, all these, because remember, I wasn't on a team and nobody at my brokerage. There wasn't any community. It absolutely sucked. I switched brokerages since. But the thing is that I would message these builders and be like, hey, this is my name. I'm a realtor, making sure they know who I am. And I would love to come by. I only need like 5-10 minutes. And I would love to give you some free promotion to my audience. So I didn't even have an audience, but like, an audience could be one person. As long as you get one follower,
no doubt, dude.
Technically have an audience.
Speak it into existence.
Exactly. And there were some people that said no, but the majority said yes because of the way I framed it of I would like to help you for free and give this promotion. I only need this many minutes. Where a lot of agents, what they'll do is like, oh, I'm getting a lot of no's. They're messaging agents be like, hey, I want to come do a TikTok so I can make a video for my page. That's a lot of value for them, not the listing owner or the builder. Right. So you got to switch that around, right? Yep. Of like, hey, what value are they getting? So at the end of the day, people just care what value they're getting. So I think that's the frame set on that.
So for your tour specifically, I have watched I'm not trying to buy a house. I'm not trying to live in any of the places where most of your properties are, but I can't stop watching them because they're just so enjoyable. And like the parts that are boring, you already know that. So you fast forward through those parts. And I mean, it's like a home tour on steroids, right? Or it's really more like a home tour for an ADHD person.
Yes.
Right? That's like, show me the highlights, bro. I don't have time for you creeping up the stairs and turning corners. And so talk to people that haven't seen them yet. Like, how do you talk about your home tours in comparison to the other millions of tours that are out there that are garbage?
Yes, absolutely. So the number one thing is that my videos, if you watch my videos and then watch another realtor, you'll be like, hey, this Tyler guy, a lot of people will be like, is he even a real estate agent? Is he even a realtor? And that's what I want.
I love it.
Right? Because when you're on social media, people are on there to be entertained. They're not there to be sold to. So even when I first started, I'm like, I don't want to be seen as a realtor. So I became a real estate content creator. So whenever I was making videos, it wasn't to try and be like, I need to get leads from this video and I'm going to try and sell this property. It was, I'm going to entertain the people by showing them this property. So in the beginning of the video, in my videos, you'll see every 3 seconds, I have a hook, or at least I try to. So that, and there's a book called Hook Point. It's amazing. And it talks about that. So at the beginning of my videos, I always hated whenever I'd watch home tours or realtors, especially on short form content. They're like, hey, my name's Tyler. I'm a top producer with Real Broker in Calgary, Alberta. Behind me is my listing. But at first it's like, just show me the house. People don't care about you. Right. So what I do in my videos, I'm like, this is what 500,000 can get you, or like, you won't believe the inside of this home. And then boom, it cuts right into going into the house. And then on top of that, what I do is I get right to it. First off, showing them the house. Right. And then what I do on top of that is every 3 seconds, like I said, I like to make sure it's quick. So as soon as I walk into the house, I'll then slow motion into one of the main rooms. So the main rooms I focus on is living room, dining room, kitchen, maybe the backyard. Then I go up to the primary master and then the bedrooms and any other major things. I don't show closets. I don't show all the bathrooms. I don't show the inside of the garage because people don't care. They want something that's quick and exciting. So that's what I do is I add some good music. I sometimes add voiceovers, and it's just like a really quick presentation to show them this is what it's like. And another thing I do is I do it all in one take. So it's one walkthrough of the entire home. And the reason I do this, because people then get a good grasp on what the property feels like.
Right.
Too many times. And I do some videos that are cinematic, like the odd one, just because there's a cool music and it's like a luxury property where it's like showing the bedroom, kitchen, then all of a sudden the pool, and it looks cool. But a lot of agents do that for all their videos. And I'm watching it like, wait, I can't understand the layout. Like, it doesn't make sense. So that's why I feel like my views are so high. I get so many shares because people are like, it's like my pages are like the new MLS. I get some people that are moving to Calgary that are like, oh, like, don't even look on the MLS. Look at this guy, Tyler. He's got homes of all types, and then hit him up and he'll send you even more to look at. So that's kind of my thing, is being a content creator versus being an agent, because people can tell that. And you got to make sure that, like, you're not on there to sell. You're not on there to promote yourself. You're on there to add value, once again, to consumers that'll then be like, I like this guy. I like this home. I want to contact him.
Yeah. So you're not introducing yourself, right? Which I think is the pivotal piece to the people listening, because I've sat in, I'm not going to name names, but I've sat in literal real estate trainings where the person in the front who's supposed to be the expert is teaching them. Guys, if you don't remind people who you are every week, they're forgetting. And I'm like, what are you teaching people?
I
What are you
know.
doing? So you're not introducing yourself ever, right? I
Never.
don't think I've ever caught one of your videos where you've even said your first name.
Never even said my first name. I've never. I only have hook points is what I talk about.
I
That's
love it. So then you're doing one video of the entire property, right, on your phone.
Yep.
And so I'm assuming you're doing voiceover, like after you get the finished edit, then you're recording a voiceover to then match to the video.
Yes, exactly. So what I'll do, this is a quick like minute explanation. I'll be out front of the property and I start at the front because a hook point is not only what you say, but also what you see. So I like to be out front of the property and I'll have my phone on a gimbal, a DJI gimbal. And that stabilizes it so it's not all shaky. And then I hold it like this out front, or I'll have someone film me so you can see the house. And I'm like, this is what 500,000 gets you. Too many agents, they start on the inside or in the backyard. They don't get to see what the house looks like. Right. So that's what I do. I say, this is what this gets you. And then right away I turn and I start walking into the property. And then once I go through the whole property, I walk over here, I'm walking slow. Then I'll put it into CapCut. And then when I'm in CapCut, the editing software, I speed up the clips, right? That are like from me outside to into the kitchen. That'll be like a 3-time speed ramp. And then once I go into the kitchen, it'll be like a 2-second clip. That's like only 1-time speed, which is normal speed. So if you watch my videos, it's quick kitchen, quick living room, quick this, quick this, to keep people entertained. And when we go upstairs, it's like 5-time speed, because some agents, it's like a video of them going upstairs for like 5 seconds.
You're
like,
hearing them breathe.
Exactly. Exactly. And then what I do is once I put all that together in CapCut, that's when I'll write up the script. And that's not all the videos, but some now. I'll then do a voiceover where I'm like, I explain what's going through. Sometimes I'll put music on. I don't even do a voiceover, but sometimes I'm like, like check out this stunning kitchen. Just off the kitchen, you have this yard. And my wordplay is fun. I'm not always like, oh, this is this exquisite, weird thing. People don't care. It's like, hey, look at this. Like, I've done a luxury 15 or 13,000 square foot property. And I'm like, look at how massive this living space is. You could host the craziest parties here. Yeah. Because that's what someone that's buying the house is going to do. They're going to host parties there. Not like, oh, here's this marble imported from wherever. That's for like the 10-minute long listing videos. For these ones, make it fun, make it cool, and quick cuts. And so, that's what I do. And then I just throw it on TikTok, add some music, Instagram Reels, and then boom. It takes 5 minutes to maybe fill in a home, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how big the home is, shutting off lights, turning them on, maybe 15 minutes to edit, and then putting music on. So like probably 30 minutes shoot and post for a video. So when I'm doing one a day, it's only 30 minutes a day. And sometimes I'll have a content day all day and I'll film like 10, edit 10. I got content for 10 days. So it's really quick and it costs zero money.
And so are you still doing all your own editing?
Yes. Yeah. And the reason why I do my own editing is, quite honestly, by the time I would upload the clips to, say, a Dropbox or a Google Drive folder, and then also be like, oh, I like this, but I don't like this. Can you change that? It's quicker for me to just edit it. Right. Like even when I was in Houston, flew into Houston, got right from the airport, rental vehicle, went and filmed some properties, and then I went into a Target because they have Wi-Fi there, and because I have Canadian phone, right, but barely have data down there. So went into a Target, and then inside the Target, the produce section, that's when we were getting some groceries for the hotel, and then I was in there editing, posting, and inside the Target. So by the time my girlfriend picked up like the grocery, like just stuff for our hotel, I already edited and posted a video, and then we're on our way back to our hotel. So I literally, I think we flew in at maybe like 5. By the time we got the rental vehicle filmed and posted inside a Target, it was maybe 2 hours later, and it was 3 property tours, but I only edited and posted 1 at the time.
Well, I think that what's so important about this little story is you just don't have excuses. No. Right? Like you're editing in the produce section at Target, where most people are like, well, like I just don't have time. And it's like, well, you watched an hour-long TV show last night, but you didn't have time to kind of learn how to play with CapCut, learn how to do voiceover. We're just so full of excuses.
Totally.
And you're not, which is why you are you and we are not.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that. And I think the big thing is that, I got it tattooed on me, on my hand, the what if factor. Is like, really ask yourself, like, what if you seriously committed the next 60 days, made no excuses, and went all in on this and just tried it and didn't even it doesn't matter. You're sick, go put a mask on, go film the property tour. Something's going on, make it happen. Or another smart thing is, once you have a goal and you really make a decision to get it, and it's that 60 days, maybe you have a day like today, it's Thursday. Maybe all of a sudden you're like, hey, do you know what? I actually have quite a bit of time this afternoon. I'm going to go film 5 tours instead of just 1. and batch it, right? Because when you actually make that committed decision, it's going to happen. Because the thing is that this isn't rocket science. If you just show up every day and make it happen, you're going to see the results. Right. Because as you get going, you might be like, oh, my videos aren't as good as that. The reason why my videos are good now, scroll down to the bottom of my TikTok page or Instagram page. I really want you guys to, okay? All of you, go to my Instagram or TikTok at Tyler Hassman, scroll down to the bottom. My videos were not good. I was crazy. The music was too loud sometimes. It was awful. But now it's because I've done probably almost 600-700 tours. Wow. That's why it's at this stage. So you need to just get going and start now so that you're never wondering like, oh, what if I would have went all in? When I listened to Coach Kyle and Tyler's podcast, what if I would have maybe done the 60 days, where you could be thinking, like, what if it does work? What if I did do it? What if I did actually make that happen? And I can promise you, you're not going to regret it. And it's not going to cost anything. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't cost anything. It's not we're not telling people, oh, go run Facebook ads and spend $5,000 a month for the next 5 months. You can gain traction and you need the click funnels, this and this and this, which is a strategy that works. I'm not saying it doesn't work or anything. I'm just saying, this is something that doesn't cost anything other than your time. And if you're obviously wanting to get more leads and more deals, then you can sacrifice and pay the time to make this happen.
It's huge, man. And I would add, it also does take your ego.
Totally.
Right. Which I think is why most people won't do anything with this episode. Yeah. Is because their ego can't allow them to suck it first. Totally. And you fought through it. I fought through it, and you're where you are. And so, man, this has been so much fun. I could talk to you forever and ask you so many questions, but what I want to end on, to just keep it short-ish for the ADHD people in our lives, branding.
Yes.
So you wear a freaking cool hat every day. I think you told me in LA you have like 7 or 8 of them.
Yep.
And so nobody even knows what's going on underneath there. And so talk about brand for a second. Like, did you start out as the hat guy, or did you evolve into that? Like, how did you intentionally choose for that to be a part of your branding?
Absolutely. Branding is super important, you guys. And being that I had a background in obviously some marketing and stuff, my girlfriend, absolutely same thing. There's a book called The Purple Cow by Seth Godin, marketing book. You absolutely got to go read it. It talks about being as different as possible, because when you're your living brand and you are so different, you don't need to market, because that is it. I always wore these hats actually previously. And it was because I would go to real estate events, like when I was an investor, and I wore the odd Dora hat kind of style. And people were like, oh, it's the hat guy. Like, people just kind of, I don't know, because I'd wear them on videos the odd time and people just liked it. And I just started wearing it more and more. I really like wearing them. So when I started doing these videos, I'm like, no, I'm going to wear in every single one, because that's going to be my branding. And that's the thing, is that my branding is so strong and consistent, just like the videos. With these hats, I've worked with people for 1.5 years since I first started. They don't even know what's under the hat. I'm going to keep it that way, because that's how consistent I am. So good. And here's the thing. So many people are like, oh, well, like you already, like, I don't have the hat. I don't have anything. An example I gave when I was in Houston, the first day of the event, I wore a jean jacket and had like a big print on the back with Nicki Minaj. And it was like, everyone's like, man, that jean jacket's sick. I got so many compliments on the jean jacket. So then I was like, hey, if anybody else here is struggling on a brand and you like to wear jean jackets, go and buy 4 of them, spend a couple $100, go find some vintage ones and make sure you wear them. But you need to wear them in every single video, every single appointment, all the time, because then it becomes your brand. Where if I only wore the hat every second video or every so often, because other agents try doing this, but they don't wear it every day. So then it doesn't become your brand. So your brand can be something as little as a jacket, as a colorway, but you need to live that brand so much that you do it every time. And that's why if you go to my page, you will not see me at all without this hat. Hat's always on. Like, it's consistency. So consistency for everything is what it's going to take.
You might need like, when you're in the millions of followers soon, you need to like raise money for charity. And if you raise $100,000, you'll do a video without your hat on.
Oh, you know what? Like, that's a lot better than the other way. I was thinking of doing an OnlyFans.
Hey,
home tours without the hat, $40 a month. Subscribe.
Dude, come on.
I like the charity way the better though.
You probably do both.
Yeah, I could do both.
So Tyler, you already told us you're Tyler Hassman everywhere on social. Guys, go follow this man. He's already crushing it, but I don't even know that he realizes where he'll be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, with just the consistency and relentlessness by which you do what you do, man. And so thank you for being on here. It's been an absolute honor. I love watching what you're doing. Anything else you want to share with the people before we end this thing?
No, I just say thank you so much for having me on here. Everyone keep it consistent and keep it simple, right? You got a phone, that's it, right? All you need is a phone. You don't need a car. Maybe go get a bike. You should probably get a bike.
Yeah.
$50. There you go. Facebook Marketplace like I did. But you have a phone and you have CapCut, which is a free editing software. You don't have a single excuse. So go do it.
I love it. That's awesome, man. Guys, thank you for listening. If you didn't find value in this, go listen to it again because you're a moron. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. We'll be back real soon. Keep speaking, everybody. People need you. See ya.